Herkese merhabalar. Connect UK World Class University Webinar serimize hoş geldiniz. Ben İmran Mehmet, British Education Bureau, BEB eğitim uzmanı olarak bugün bir diğer önemli, değerli üniversitemiz olan University of Sussex yetkilimiz Leo Cutting ile birlikte üniversitemizi tanıtacağız ve aynı zamanda sizden gelen sorular noktasında birlikte yardımcı olacağız. Bu kapsamda size öncelikle BEB'den bahsetmek isterim, British Education Bureau'dan. Ardından sözü ben yetkilimiz Leo Cutting'e bırakacağım ve en son kısımda da sizden gelen soruları yanıtlandırıyor olacağız. Sorularınızı sunum sırasında veya sonunda bizlerle paylaşabilirsiniz. Biz BEB olarak University of Sussex'in Türkiye'deki resmi temsilciliğini yapan kurumuz. Temsil ettiğimiz üniversitelerin Türkiye'deki tanıtım faaliyetlerini, aynı zamanda bu kapsamdaki organizasyonları gerçekleştiriyoruz. 2002 yılında Oxford'da kurulduk ve İngiliz-Türk ortaklarımız kurucularımızdır. 20 yıldır İstanbul, Ankara, İzmir olmak üzere Türkiye'deki 3 büyük şehrimizde öğrencilerimize hizmet sağlamaktayız. Uzmanlık alanımız tamamen Birleşik Krallık eğitim sistemidir. Üniversitelerin giriş şartları, başvuru süreçleri, vize aşamaları gibi eğitimimize başlamadan önceki tüm noktalarda biz detaylı olarak destek sağlıyoruz. Tüm danışmanlarımız Birleşik Krallık eğitim sistemine hakim, bu konularda sürekli olarak eğitimler almakta. Biz Birleşik Krallık'ta 130 tane devlet üniversitesi vardır toplamda ve biz BEB olarak bu 130 üniversitenin 90'ını resmi temsilciliğini yapıyoruz. Yani Türkiye'deki ofisleri gibi düşünebilirsiniz. Ve temsilciliğini yaptığımız üniversitelerimiz için de tamamen ücretsiz danışmanlık hizmeti sağlıyoruz. Daha sonraki webinarlarımızı internet sayfamız, Instagram sayfamız ve Facebook üzerinden takip edebilirsiniz. Aynı zamanda İstanbul, Ankara, İzmir ve Lefkoşa'daki ofislerimize de bu numaralardan ulaşabilirsiniz. Ben dediğim gibi sözü şu anda Leo yetkilimize bırakıyorum ve sunum sonunda sizden gelen soruları yanıtlıyor olacağız. Thank you very much, Leo. It's yours now.
Thank you so much, Imran. Thanks for the introduction. Great, so thanks for joining me, everybody. My name is Leo Cutting. I am the Senior International Officer at the University of Sussex for Turkey. So I have the pleasure of working with British Education Bureau for many years and meeting, hundreds of Turkish students planning to join the University of Sussex. And now hopefully some of you are thinking about doing the same thing. So I'm going to share my screen here and let me just concentrate on that for a second so I do it properly. So in a second you should see my slides and Imran will tell me if something has gone wrong. You can't? Great. So yeah, that's me, and today I'm going to tell you about the University of Sussex. So first of all, a little bit of a orientation just to give you an idea of where we are as we zoom in to the south coast of the United Kingdom. You should now be able to see the beautiful University of Sussex campus on your screens. And really, first of all, I just want to give you a kind of overview of Sussex and who we are and what we're about. And then we'll talk in more detail about location. We'll talk about courses, scholarships, fees, entry requirements. And we'll talk about careers and all the kind of student life things as well that you need to know. So hopefully in the course of this presentation, you'll really start to feel like you understand what the University of Sussex can maybe offer you in terms of a university experience. So first of all, the University of Sussex is celebrating its 60th year anniversary this year. So happy birthday to us. We were founded in 1961. And so it's 60 years since the first students walked through the doors of the University of Sussex. In terms of our rankings, so the ranking that we kind of find the most useful for an international audience like you is the Times Higher Education World University Rankings, which takes universities from all around the world and tries to find a way to put them into a ranking. And overall, this places us joint 151st in the world. And if you look at that on a kind of only the UK universities, I think that places us somewhere around the top 30 in the UK. So really, you know, a top quality world university is what the University of Sussex is sort of offering. Also, quite excitingly, for those of you, you know, who maybe are kind of concerned about the impact of COVID on education and how difficult it is to complete a degree at the moment, you know, we've essentially been named by the Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide, which is a well-known UK university ranking and guide. We've been named as the University of the Year for student retention. And what that means is that our students complete their degrees successfully more than any other university in the UK. So our dropout rate is very, very low. And what that does is it points to the level of service that we provide to our students, the academic support that we offer, and also the experience of being at the university as well. So those things, I think, should be very encouraging to any of you who are thinking about coming to Sussex. And then finally, just to give you an idea, I guess, a flavor of sort of the level of research that we do at the university, 3 Nobel Prize winners have conducted their research on the campus at the University of Sussex. So given that we're 60 years old, we're averaging 1 Nobel Prize winner every 20 years, which is quite an exceptional rate to be managing that. So that's our overall rankings and reputation, just to give you a very headline flavor of what we're about. Let's talk about the campus, though. So this is the lovely University of Sussex campus that you can see here on the slide. We are a single site campus university. And what that means is that all of our academic buildings are in a single location in one place on this campus in the south coast of the UK. Some universities are multi-campus, so they might have more than one campus dotted around the place. Other universities are actually not campus-based at all. They're city-based and they're just spread out across the city. All of our buildings and academic buildings are in this one beautiful location located just outside the city of Brighton. And very, very special thing about the campus at the University of Sussex is that we're entirely surrounded by a national park. So you can see these green hills on the slide surrounding the campus. And so that makes us unique actually in England. We're the only university to be surrounded by a national park. One thing to note on this slide is it makes the campus look very rural, quite isolated. I'll show you in a little bit about how close it in fact is to the city of Brighton and the kind of exciting city that's just on the campus doorstep. So if you're thinking, oh, this campus looks a little bit too out in the countryside, I promise you that if you turn the camera around the other way, you'll actually be able to see the city that's behind me on my background here. So it's very, very close to the city, and I'll show you that in a second. Just to talk a bit more about the campus, though, the campus itself has a really vibrant community. We have, for example, a weekly farmers market and street food fair that allows you to kind of try different kinds of food and go with your friends and sort of, you know, go to this market. We've also got 10 cafes and also restaurants and bars on campus. We do things like open mic nights and other theme nights. We have our student support and life center on the campus. We also have 2 gyms and 3 G and Astro pitches as well, tennis courts, these kind of things. So sports facilities are very, very good and available. I'll talk more about sport at the university much later on. Also worth mentioning the health center. So we have a pharmacy, a doctor's and a dentist on campus. We have our multi-faith chapel. So any kind of religious facilities that are needed are there as well. We've got a 24-hour library. The library is huge. We won't have time today to sort of take you around the library virtually, but it's a really, really big library with a fantastic selection of books. You can pretty much get everything you need from the library. If there's something that's not available, we'll order it in for you. So you'll be able to get what you need from that. And it also gives you access to a lot of online journals as well, so that you can access the latest information from various publications as soon as they're available online. The campus also has a supermarket, so a big shop and a bank. And there's, of course, lots of subject-specific equipment as well. So if you're an engineer, for example, there's amazing sort of technologies labs and computer facilities and things like that. So I promised to tell you sort of a little bit more about where the campus is located in relation to the city. So the orange badge here is your indication of where the campus is. And basically, if you know anything about Brighton, you'll be able to remember the Brighton Pier, which is right on the seafront, and I'll show you that in a second. From the campus to the city centre, the station in the city centre, it's 4.5 miles, 7.2 kilometers. That takes about 20 minutes by bike, less than 10 minutes by train, and there's actually a train station on the campus, so you can take a direct train to the city centre that way. By bus, 20 to 25 minutes to the city centre as well. So it's really easy to get to that city centre. From Brighton to London is less than 1 hour by train as well. So it's very, very easy to get up to London for the day. So if you do want to go to some of those big museums or shops, or go and see a London-based sports team, for example, very easy to do that from Brighton as well. In fact, many people think of Brighton as London on sea, because actually a lot of people will have jobs in London but live in Brighton because they want to be by the coast and by the sea and in a more relaxed environment. Also worth noting that we are only half an hour away from Gatwick Airport. Now, Gatwick Airport serves a lot of Turkish Airlines flights, so it's very, very easy to get from the campus to Gatwick Airport and then take a flight home, see family, or have family come and visit you. So, so that's worth noting as well. So I've talked a lot about Brighton without showing you Brighton, so let me do that. This is Brighton. So this is my hometown, actually. I think Brighton is the best place in the UK to live. I've lived in other places and I absolutely love living in Brighton. It's got the beach, it's got amazing parks. The countryside that surrounds the city, as you can see here, is really beautiful. There's the football stadium, Brighton and Hove Albion. If you follow Premier League football, you'll know that they've been doing very well this year. So we've got a fantastic Premier League football team as well. And then we've got the beautiful Sussex campus with some amazing buildings and surroundings, all in this kind of singular style designed by an architect called Basil Spence. And yeah, we're updating the campus all the time as well. So we've got some brand new accommodation that we've been building. I mentioned sports facilities, and you can see some of these here. So the tennis courts, football pitches, and then, yeah, just the rolling hills that surround the campus as well. So you've got this kind of great balance of the campus, the city, and then the nature that kind of surrounds the city of Brighton before you head up into London. So you can see here Cuckmere Haven, which is a famous natural spot of beauty, and then also the White Cliffs, which are very evocative of the south coast of the UK, less than an hour away from the campus as well. So a really beautiful environment and a really great place to be a student. So hopefully that is exciting and sort of makes you want to learn more. And yeah, you can just see some images here. And what I want to highlight really about Brighton, I guess, as well, is the central image, this street with all these shops on it. Brighton has a really independent shopping center sort of style, I guess. So instead of like cookie cutter, like every shop is the same, and you can go to Barcelona or Paris or London and every shop is you know, Zara or, you know, H&M or whatever. Brighton has those shops, but it also has lots of fantastic independent shops that sell all different kinds of things that you won't be able to find anywhere else. And it really has a kind of bohemian vibe that I think students really like. Brighton was actually named a couple of years ago the most hipster city in the world because of the number of coffee shops and record shops and secondhand clothes shops we have. So it's got a really cool environment. The beach is amazing as well. So students really love it. I've done a lot of talking and I want to make sure I keep my voice fresh. So I'm going to show you a quick video just to give you a bit more of a sense of what I mean about Brighton. And then we're going to talk about the university and the courses we offer and all of those things as well. So stay tuned for that after this quick video. I love that video. And I guess in Turkey it's the same as here. We're now very much in November. It's getting kind of grey and there's a lot of rain. And that video makes me very nostalgic for the summer, because summer in Brighton is really special. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the subject areas that we offer, and I'm going to go into detail on some of those areas. Kindly B sent me some of your areas of interest, and I'll try and focus on some of those, though I want to just sort of make clear that we don't have time to go through everything in too much detail. But first of all, let's just go through the kind of subject areas that we teach. Just to be super clear, in case it's not obvious, the subjects that you can see on this slide, these are subject areas. We have hundreds of courses within these subject areas. So this is just very top level, the kinds of areas we teach, but then you can go down into the detail and find out all different kinds of courses within them. So let's take an example of that. We've got life sciences here on the slide. Now, life sciences includes biomedical science, but it also includes zoology. So there's a really big range of different subjects that we teach, and that's the case for all of these subject areas. I'm going to go into detail on some of them, but just to highlight some areas that I won't have time to talk about, we've got a fantastic media, film and music department that offers really great programs in media practice, some really fantastic facilities with them as well, state-of-the-art cameras, sound mixing decks, all different kinds of studios, really, really great facilities with them. We've got a fantastic history, art history, philosophy department as well, teaching brilliant sort of subjects in art history and museum creation, for example. Other areas including education as well, and also things like, what else have we got here? Sort of global studies and that kind of area as well. So do take the opportunity to take a look at our online prospectus to learn more about our subjects. What you can do is you can search for courses, and then within each course, you can actually look at the modules that are taught over each year. So you can really go into the detail of what that course is going to teach you over each year of your study. And that gives you a really great opportunity to really, truly understand what you're going to be learning. You might find that a degree from one university in the UK is very different in terms of the subject studied to others. So it's worth checking that out and making sure that you're making the right choice. So I'm going to talk about some subject areas, and hopefully this will be interesting to some of you. I won't go into too much detail on each one because I know that you're an audience with diverse interests. First thing first, though, the business school. So this video is, it covers the business school and the classrooms in the business school, but it also actually just gives you an idea of what our classrooms look like generally. And what our lecture theatres look like in the kind of environment that our teaching is done out of. So it's relevant for all of you, even if you're not planning to study business. But obviously, because it's the business school, for those of you interested in business, it'll be particularly interesting. So 60-second video just to take you on a quick tour of our business school so you can get an idea of what it looks like inside. So that'll just give you an idea of what our classrooms look like, the kind of teaching facilities that we have for our business programs, but also for many other subjects as well. So a little bit more detail on the business school then. Excitingly, we've been shortlisted for Business School of the Year in the Times Higher Education Awards. Overall, we're in the top 10 in the UK for business and economics in the Times Higher Education 2021 rankings. And also for graduate prospects, which means kind of graduate opportunities, graduate jobs, we're very highly ranked as well. So our graduates from accounting and finance, this is actually the #1 subject area in the UK for graduate prospects, which is fantastic. We're also in the top 10 for graduate job opportunities, graduate prospects from business and management and marketing too. So across all of these subject areas, we do very, very well in terms of helping our students find jobs on graduation. For undergraduate degrees, almost all of our undergraduate courses offer a placement year option. And recent students have gone to complete placements at places like IBM, GlaxoSmithKline, HP. I'll talk about an individual case study in a little while. The cool thing about doing a placement year is that you actually only pay 20% of the tuition fee for that year, and you're very likely to get paid a salary to do that placement year as well. So it's a really great opportunity to kind of get some professional experience as part of your degree. So that's the business school. I'll quickly just talk about a couple of other subject areas. So we've got engineering and informatics. Informatics is what we at Sussex call computer science. We have courses in mechanical engineering, electrical and electronic engineering, product design, robotics. We do a computer science program. We do a specialized program in artificial intelligence. We do courses in data science as well. And then we also do a course in computing for digital media and game design, which is basically 3D graphics for games and films. So it's for multimedia. So some really exciting courses there. You can see the various accreditations that those courses have on the slide as well, which gives you reassurance that you're going to have a degree that's recognized by the relevant professional bodies. In terms of our focus in these subject areas, it's really around small class sizes. So we don't have huge classes where you can't get the attention of your professor. You're going to be in a small environment with not too many classmates at any one time to give you the chance to get that individual support and attention from your teachers. We focus a lot on employability from these courses, and also sustainability is a major focus as well. So if you're doing engineering, mechanical engineering, you're going to be focusing in on sustainability as a question around how to make products that are going to work in terms of the new reality we're living in terms of moving towards a more sustainable future, given climate change. So these are the focuses that we have. I mentioned employability just to share with you some of the industry partners that our School of Engineering and Informatics have. And you can see there's some of the companies that we do research with, some of the places where our students do internships. So some really fantastic big brands, Google, IBM, eBay, American Express, Facebook, some really big names there. And then some other top subject areas you might be interested in. Law is very, very popular at the University of Sussex. Our law school is in the UK top 20. Psychology is another area where we're seeing a lot of interest, which is great. And we have a big psychology faculty at the University of Sussex. We're in the top 10 for psychology. And then another subject area that some of you might be interested in is development studies. Sussex is the world's #1 university for development studies. There's a QS ranking for this, and for the last 5 years, we've been #1 in this subject area. So we are pretty undisputably the top university in the world for that subject. Development studies, in case you're wondering, is kind of related to international relations. It focuses very much on developing countries, issues around essentially meeting the Sustainable Development Goals, making sure that countries develop at a similar rate. And we have some fantastic courses in this area as well. So if you're interested in a career in the United Nations, in NGOs, in international charities, or in government, development studies might be a subject you're interested in as well. One of the great things about Sussex is that our undergraduate degrees are quite flexible. So we give you the chance to customize your course, and we can do this in a number of ways. Essentially, you can customize the structure and the content of your degree, and it lets you choose the kind of things you want to focus on. We do this through several ways. We have electives, pathways, study abroad, and placements. Now, an elective is simply an individual module that you might do in another subject area alongside what you're studying. So if you are an engineering student, but you want to learn about business, maybe marketing, then you can do an elective in marketing as part of your degree to make up your course portfolio for that year. And that will just let you kind of sit that module and get that experience on your CV. Pathways are a little bit more involved, so you might do multiple modules over the course of your degree, and it will then be that your degree will be in your primary subject area, but with a pathway in something else. So you might do a business degree with a pathway in psychology. So that's another way of having a more kind of developed part of your degree in another subject area. kind of like the way minors work in the US. You have a major subject and a minor subject. It's similar to that. Study abroad is what it sounds like. You can spend a semester or a year as part of your undergraduate degree overseas, and I'll talk about that in a little while. And then placements, we already discussed this, but the opportunity to actually spend a year working in a company in a subject related to your course. And just today, I was sent a profile by the business school of one of our Turkish students who has just done this. So Demet did a placement with L'Oreal in their Armani beauty division. And she's having an amazing experience with them, getting the chance to work in a number of different areas, learn a lot of different skills, and essentially build her CV and get an opportunity to sort of really kind of say to employers when she graduates, I have my degree, but I also have all this experience from this well-known company. And, you know, really for a job interview, being able to draw on both your academic experiences, but also your professional experiences from your placement is fantastic. So if Demet can do it, then so can you. It's a really great opportunity. So I would encourage all of you to consider maybe doing a placement as part of your degree, because you can go and work for some amazing companies. Going back a little bit to study abroad, as I say, it can be either a term or an academic year. You'll normally do this between your second and your final year. And it's essentially a year in another country, in a third country. So we have partners all around Europe, the US, Latin America, Asia, really a big, big range of partners. And the great thing is that you only pay 20% of your normal fee, and you don't pay anything to the overseas university. So you essentially, if you go to the US, spending a year at a US university for 20% of a UK tuition, which is, I think, an extremely good deal, basically, in terms of the cost of education normally in the US. Most of our courses allow voluntary study abroad year, and they're usually mandatory if you're doing a language. So a great opportunity, something to consider. Of course, if you're from Turkey, you're already coming to another country to study in the UK. But if you want to get a really kind of global CV and experience another place as well, this is a really good opportunity to do that, and can be very cost effective too. Okay, so I've told you a lot about Sussex, and at this point you're probably thinking, okay, great, I'm definitely going to go to Sussex, sounds amazing, how do I sign up? So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our entry requirements. I'll have some water first so I don't cough in your ears. So we do accept students directly from high school in Turkey through the Turkish high school system. Most students on most courses will be able to apply directly. Excuse me. But we normally look for around 80% from your final year as a minimum for that. Just to be clear on that, that means your 12th year. So the final year of your high school, that's the year we look at, and that's the year that we base our decision on. Obviously, we'll look at your previous year grades, but we'll be making a conditional offer on that final year. If you're doing IB or A levels at school, then you can see the spectrum of grades we require for those subjects. We also do have English language requirements you need to meet. So once again, if you're doing A levels or IB, usually you'll meet those English language requirements automatically. If you're not doing those subjects, you'll need to submit some kind of other evidence of English language, whether that's an IELTS, a TOEFL, Pearson test, or a Duolingo test of English. Okay. So hopefully that's clear on entry requirements. Of course, I can answer more questions about that at the end. In terms of tuition fee, so at Sussex, we have pretty much at the undergraduate level 3 different types of fee. There's non-lab subjects, lab subjects, and medicine. Medicine is self-explanatory, and the fees for that are pretty high. Medicine degrees are 5 years, and it's £37,000 a year at the moment. The difference between the non-lab and lab is basically, does your subject require a laboratory environment to teach it? So if you're doing something like biology or psychology, then you're likely to be a lab subject, and therefore at the higher end of the fee, so £23,000 per year. If you're doing a non-lab subject, law, business, English literature, that kind of thing, you'll be at the lower end because essentially we have fewer facilities we need to provide to teach you. So those are the fees. Now, the good news is that we do have undergraduate scholarships in place. The main one I want to tell you about is the Chancellor's International Scholarship, which is worth £5,000 and is available for all 3 years of your undergraduate degree. So if you get this scholarship, you'll get it for 3 years. So essentially it's worth £15,000. Sorry about all the coughing. I promise I'm fine. Essentially, this scholarship is competitive. You need to apply for the course first, get an offer, and then you will essentially be eligible to apply for this scholarship. There's a separate application that you need to complete. So do take a look at that. Accommodation then. So as international students, you will be guaranteed university managed accommodation for your first year. We have over 5,000 rooms on campus, and there's a mix of ensuite and shared bathroom accommodation. It's all self-catered, so that helps us to keep the price down, but it means you'll have a kitchen and you can cook for yourself. But there are cafeterias and cafes that I mentioned already that are on campus for you. We also have off-campus options, and that includes both university managed off-campus accommodation and also private accommodation that we can help you find as well. So there's lots of accommodation options. But just to give you an idea of the kind of costs that you'd be looking at in terms of accommodation, I've got this slide for you here. Now, in the top left, that's East Slope. That's our newest accommodation. It just literally became ready this year. And that's obviously at the higher end. It's en suite, and you'd be looking at about £172 per week for that accommodation. And then we run through them. Lewis Court, a little bit cheaper, Brighthelm, £150 per week. And then Norwich House, bottom right, is shared bathroom. It's a little bit older, but it's less than £120 per week. So we've got this mix of accommodation costs for you to basically fit all price ranges. Okay. Talking about living costs. So hopefully you can see this on the slide. This is taken from our website, and hopefully that gives you, hopefully you can see that, and that's big enough for you to read. Basically, this is a very, very broad approximate breakdown of what you'd likely spend on living costs while you're studying with us. Now, it varies hugely from student to student, and you may spend much more, you may spend much less. This is really just an estimate to give you an idea of what things cost. As you can see, your rent on your accommodation will be the biggest expense. Everything else is fairly modest, though it does add up, so it's important to be aware of that. But things like a mobile phone contract can be very cheap. Food, it does vary, but you'd be looking per month at about £150 to £200 per week. Books, you can see the cost there. One thing that varies massively is this going out, socializing, and hobbies. Obviously, you can spend almost nothing on that, but some of you will want to be more social. So, you know, that will vary. Right. So I do just want to talk to you about careers. So this is a really important thing. You know, you're doing a degree for a reason. You want to have job opportunities at the end of it. And I want to just make sure you're clear on the support you get at Sussex to have a career in your chosen area. So our Careers and Employability Service is there to help you basically design your future. The good news is that the UK labour market, the jobs market, is looking very good at the moment. There's lots and lots of jobs at the moment. 69% of employers are planning to recruit in the next 3 months. And you can see some of the areas on the slide there that there are a particularly large number of jobs available at the moment. The UK has created a new graduate visa that will allow you as international students the right to apply for it. What it gives you is the right to work or look for work in the UK for 2 years after you graduate. So if you do an undergraduate degree with us, you will have that visa, which will allow you to work or look for work for 2 years after graduation. Of course, beyond that, you may well then be able to move to another kind of work visa and stay on for longer. but the guaranteed 2 years is there. There is a fee to apply for that visa, so it's important to be aware that there is a cost associated, but for many people, it's worth it to have that opportunity to work in the UK. So really our focus is making sure you can take advantage of that visa. So our careers support service offers information, webinars, and opportunities to our international students from the day you arrive until 3 years after you graduate. So you're going to have our support for as long as you need it, basically, until you're well into your career. During the early portion of your degree, you will meet your careers consultant from your academic school. And what they'll do is they'll support you in terms of exploring your career options, finding vacancies, making applications. They'll basically walk you through the process of finding your ideal job, basically. I think it's worth really reminding you, whether you come to Sussex or whether you go to another university in the UK, do meet your careers consultant, do talk to the careers service, because if you work with them and you're consistently thinking about where you're going to end up and what kind of job you're going to do, you really will find that that you're much more likely to be successful. So take advantage of these opportunities. At Sussex, we do 3 large recruitment fairs every year where we have companies and employers come to the campus to talk to our students, graduates to explain their opportunities. We have jobs boards, so we have our careers hub, and these are kind of online job boards, including Student Circus, which is specifically for international students. We do employer networking events, and we also have our award-winning placement preparation program as well to help you get ready to do that. For any of you who want to start your own business, we have an entrepreneur community. We do a startup lab. We have entrepreneurs in residence, people who've started businesses that are essentially supported by the university. We do meet the founders events. We do one-to-one appointments. We actually have seed funding available. So if you have a business idea, we can help to fund it as a university. We provide co-working spaces in Brighton for a certain fee. There's all sorts of things we do. If you want to start a business, we're really interested in encouraging that and supporting it. So it's not just about finding a job. For some of you, it might be about creating a job. You may already know that as an international student in the UK, you will be allowed to work part-time while you're studying. You can work up to 20 hours a week on a student visa. And we have hundreds of student jobs on our campus, thousands of local opportunities. You don't only have to work on the campus, you can work in the city of Brighton as well. Both things are allowed. And there's lots and lots of different jobs available at the moment for people who are students who want to work part-time. Given that the hospitality sector is opening up, there's suddenly a lot of opportunities. So do be assured that you can do that. In terms of your rate of pay, it does vary, but you could probably expect for a decent student wage to be kind of on £9 or £10 per hour. Which would help to cover a decent amount of some of your living costs. So final few slides from me just to round things off here, and hopefully I'll get through it without my voice going entirely. So sports, I showed you some of the facilities that we have. It's worth just highlighting that at university in the UK, we have many student-run clubs and societies. And these are run by students, but they're supported by the university, and you can really get involved in whatever you want. So you don't have to be good at these things when you join to try them out. We have opportunities for anyone to try these things and get involved. Often these sports are actually quite well subsidized as well. So you can really try some of these sports for cheaper than you'll ever be able to do them in the rest of your life, which is a great opportunity. So you can see some of the options we have here. Some popular ones, surfing and windsurfing, because we're by the beach. We have a sailing club as well, canoeing, football, hockey, netball, tennis, all the usual sports. So some really good opportunities for you to get involved in that. We do also do competitive sport. The university competes against other universities in the university leagues. So if you're good at something, we're definitely happy to have you and to have you represent us. If you're really good at a sport, if you're at a national level, for example, there may even be some sports scholarships that you can apply for as well to help fund your studies and help you sort of represent Sussex. So do let me know if that's you. If sport isn't your thing, there's over 200 societies focusing on other things. So we have the Filmmakers Society, Harry Potter Society, we have a Circus Society, sketch comedy, all different kinds of things you can get involved in. So so it's not just kind of sport. There's so much stuff that you can try out and sort of, you know, experience for the first time or pursue a passion you already have. So that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover, which we've done in about 40 minutes, which is great. So we'll leave some time for questions. This obviously is me wearing a suit on campus as opposed to working from home in my more casual shirt. My contact details are there. Please feel free to just snap a picture of that and make a note. I work in a team of 2 based here in Brighton. My colleague Isabel works with me. I'm the focus person for Turkey, so really I'm your key contact person. Isabel's around for whenever I'm, you know, if I'm on holiday or not available, you can reach her, but really send me an email and I'm happy to help. For any of you who know about Calendly, I have an open diary on Calendly. So if you'd like to book an appointment directly with me, you can just do that by going to Calendly/Leo Cutting, and you can reach me that way and book a half an hour appointment. So that's an option for you as well. Brilliant. Okay, well, I hope that was a good introduction to the university. I'll now pass it back to Imran, and I think I can see in the chat maybe some comments or questions. So hopefully we'll be able to cover those, and hopefully I will not have to cough in your ear anymore. Sorry about that, but my throat just started to go during this. But hopefully the information was helpful.
Thank you very much, Leo, for the great presentation. It was really useful. And we have a couple of questions already. First of them is there a pre-requirement for work placement for economics?
So do you think that would be referring to the placement year, Imran?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
so basically the way the placements work is that you can apply, you can do it in 2 ways. You can either apply for the course when you apply at the outset, saying you want to do it with a placement year, or you can decide to do a placement year during your degree. I would usually recommend that if you think you would like to do a placement, apply for the version of the course that mentions a placement if possible, because that will just allow your visa to be the right length and it will be simpler to get you onto the placement program. But if you do a 3-year degree and then decide you want to do a placement later, you can still change onto that version of the course. In terms of pre-requirements, it's not that the course has different pre-requirements, but there is a competitive process for getting those placements. So the example I showed you with the student at L'Oreal, she will have gone through an interview process with L'Oreal to get that placement. So our career service will help you find those opportunities, but it's almost like applying for a job in terms of getting those placements. So we provide the support, but it's up to the individual to get onto that placement.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Another question is there any discount for Turkish students considering current economics asking for full-time MBA program?
Okay, so obviously in this session, because we've been focusing on undergraduate study, I covered the Chancellor's International Scholarship, which is for undergraduates. So that is a discount for undergraduate applicants, which is a competitive process worth £5,000 per year. If you're actually looking for a postgraduate degree, then we do have some alternative scholarships and funding available. For an MBA, potentially up to about £6,000 in terms of discounts for the 1 year of the MBA. So yeah, we do have some scholarship and funding opportunities there, because I am aware, of course, that with the currency difference, it can be challenging to fund the degree entirely. So yeah, for master's programs, we also have some good scholarships and awards available.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Another one is students get high school diploma in late June in Turkey. Is that too late? And when we receive a conditional offer?
Yeah, so it's never been a problem in my experience. The UK is actually later than that. So our high school students get their final diplomas in August. So actually you'll be ahead of the game. What we will do is make you a conditional offer. So when you apply, you send us all of your exams up until you apply. So you're usually your 11th grades, maybe your mock exams from your 12th grades. We make a conditional offer on that. And as long as we think it's realistic that you can meet the requirements that we set, we will say, yes, you have a place if you get 85% in your Turkish high school diploma. whatever the course is. You know, sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. And then when you do get that certificate, you send it to us, and then we say, great, fantastic, your offer is now unconditional, and then you can start to arrange things like your visa. So no, it's definitely not too late. As I say, we are even later than you.
Yeah, thank you. And another one is, will you talk about master degrees? But it was UG focused presentation.
I'm very happy to in a future session, of course.
Yeah, we are planning to organize a postgraduate session in the near future. So we will talk about the master degrees on that, and we can wait for a couple of minutes for now for the further questions. Can we book accommodation when we get a conditional offer?
Yeah, so your offer doesn't have to be unconditional for you to apply for accommodation. So accommodation applications usually open in the summer, so May or June, and you will receive an offer to apply for accommodation, even if your offer is conditional rather than unconditional. So that will be absolutely fine. You'll be able to apply for accommodation even if your offer is conditional.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm keep checking the questions.
I think I've got 2 questions. Can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the first one is that maybe this is kind of like a weird question because I don't know if there's anything you can help, but I still want to ask. You mentioned a Turkish student in your school, so can we get the contact information of that student? Because I would definitely like to speak to some students in your school to get a student's view of the school, because that would be helpful.
Yeah, of course. That's absolutely not a weird question. That's a very fair question. Let me send a link in the chat here. So give me 1 second. I need to go over to my other screen here, and I'm going to try and share a link that will let you do exactly that. Now, that particular student, she may not be available just because some of our students are, some of our students aren't. But what we've got is we've got a fantastic platform called Unibuddy, which is basically a part of our website where you can start a conversation with students from Sussex and just have a chat with them online. And I'm going to share it here in the chat for you. If you go to this link, you can choose the subject area or you can choose the country. And we have quite a large number of students. I can't tell you exact number, but a large number of students who have basically signed up willing to talk to future students and give their perspectives. So I think there's somebody from Turkey on there actually, which is great. But you may also want to just hit the subject area you're interested in. So I don't know what subject you're looking at, but let's say you're looking at, economics bachelor's. I'll have a look at that. And yes, there's a student on there who would be able to tell you more about being an economics student as well. So check out that link and see if that will sort of serve what you need.
Thanks so much for that. Can I ask one more?
Sure.
I missed that part. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention, but I'm not an IB student. Would that be a problem? Because you were talking about some students' qualifications for the entry,
Sure.
and I missed that. Could you please repeat that?
Yeah, of course I can. So it's not a problem if you're not an IB student. Basically, we accept a wide range of qualifications. So whether you're doing IB or A-levels or the Turkish high school diploma, we probably can consider you. If you're doing the Turkish high school diploma, then normally what we'll be looking for is a minimum of 80% in your 12th year of high school, so your final year. For some subjects, it's a bit higher, but yeah, you don't have to be doing the IB to apply to us.
Thanks so much. That's all.
No worries. Thanks for your questions.
Welcome.
I think we covered all the questions. I would like to thank you very much once again for the great presentation. And we hope to see you in Turkey soon as well, fingers crossed.
Me too. I can't wait to go back. It's been too long now.
Thank you very much and have a great day for you.
Thank you very much to everyone who attended. Really enjoyed the session. Appreciate you joining me.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Teşekkür ederiz. İyi akşamlar dileriz.